Operation Status Quo. Operation Status Quo. Prepare to engage. Operation Status Quo. Ready to engage. Operation Status Quo. Engaged. 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 Hey, what's up, my friends? My friends, my family, my people of the world. How do you do? It's really nice to see you too. It is. Hey, hello and happy, what's today? The 29th. Happy March 29th of the year 2023. Plugging along here on Operation Status Quo. Coming to you as often as possible to just take the time to observe the status quo in which we live and to learn how to flow with the quo, as it were, and at least recognize the quo so the flow doesn't overtake us too much, right? Okay, so it's another beautiful day. I tell you, though, I'm not as normally I'm a little more, peppy, a little more peppy. And I had something else I was actually initially going to speak about today, but then I watched this video I had come across earlier today, and it really kind of changed, just not saying my mood, but I guess it did. It changed my mood in a sense of that's why the show today is called Dear Truth. Do you exist? Because we want to know. Truth, are you out there? Truth, do you care about the people? Truth, do you want to let yourself be known to the people, right? And this is where I'm going with this, because I saw, I don't know how many people out there are familiar with David Icke, his work, and he's been doing for years, I guess somewhere around 30. I don't know, he's been around for a really long time. I found him, I guess it was around 2010, 11, something like that, and I started watching his stuff. And, he was one of the ones that talked a lot about, if you know who he is, you know who he is. But for those who don't, basically talked about, the deep state or the cabal or whatever you want to call it, and what powers that be are actually running the world. He did a lot of stuff, even talking about what happened with Princess Diana and, the truths behind some of that stuff and blah, blah. So anyway, I was watching, I caught one of his, I haven't seen him in a long time. He used to be on YouTube all over the place that I could find him. And I haven't even searched him, honestly, in a while, because, things changed so much over the last couple of years, and I started watching different things, but anyway, long story short, I was on Facebook today, and there was one of his videos through a group or something, and so I watched it, and he was really blasting Trump, talking about, I think something was called Trump Treason Exposed or something like that. So it caught my attention, because I will say, if I had to go to a voting box right now and vote between Biden or Trump, I would vote for Trump, right? So, but it really took me back and made me reflect, because, I know how much people, dislike Trump, and I understand, all the hatred that people have for him and everything. They just despise him, period. They don't even want to, hear anything. And, I never cared that much. I say this all the time as far as politics goes. I'm not a political person. To me, I think they're all corrupt. The whole system's corrupt. I don't trust. If they're in that position, I don't trust any of them, right? And I would say that way overall about, Trump too, before everything happened. Like, I wasn't even, when he came into office, through 16, 17, 18, blah, 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 like I wasn't even, following, I enjoyed watching the election when he won, because I just thought it was funny. Everybody was freaking out so bad and upset so much. And, he was, to me, because I think it's all BS anyway, it was just comical, just the way I used to really like Ross Perot back in the day, because, it was just comical. I'll never forget Ross Perot. When he was running against Clinton and Bush, and he said, because Clinton had the, it was always eating the fast food, and I think Bush didn't want to do a debate or something like that, and he goes, what we got here is Chicken Man and Potato Chip Man. He goes, now that's great if you're having a picnic, but we're trying to run a country, and I'll never forget Ross Perot saying that, and it just cracked me up so much. I voted for him right away. That was the first election I could vote in. My age, sorry, and I voted for Perot, which people say I wasted my vote, but every vote's a waste because it's all planned out and fixed anyway. Your vote doesn't matter, so I get it, but honestly, your vote doesn't matter. So anyway, so when all this with Trump came around, blah, 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 I wasn't so much into him, I didn't really care. I just thought it was more comical. I didn't pay attention to anything going on politically because I can care less about all that kind of stuff because it's all nonsense and bullshit, right? So, but anyway, then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, of course, I felt that we were under attack as a civilization. Humanity was under attack, and like it became like real serious business. We gotta, we gotta fight for our freedoms in a sense, and then I became more on board with Trump, as far as like, the way he was talking and doing, going to take out the swamp, drain the swamp and do, ba, 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 and again, I'm not even like, I can't even get into it. Like I did support him in a way, but like, I can't even get that deep into it that it's like, it's such an interesting facet or context of thought, like the human mind and the way we work. I mean, it's something I wouldn't even choose to support, not just to say him because of him. I wouldn't support any of them, but I even, because of, what COVID has done and, drug me into it in a sense of I started doing so much more research and different things. So, yeah. So I liked him, right? So now I'm watching this David Icke thing today, and and I've said this before, like, I know some people think, some people really like, especially like the Bible Belt kind of community and these hardcore Christians. I mean, they think Jesus, they think Trump is like God. They compare it to like, he's a savior. And, I mean, that's way overboard. Anytime, listen, let me just a piece of advice. Forget about politics or anything. Don't ever put that much, clout into any one individual. I don't care who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, not for nothing. Even Jesus, I'm not saying Jesus was bad. I'm just saying Jesus, the concept of being a human was still a human, right? If you want to take it to another level of like, Jesus and what Christ consciousness is compared to the actual individual of Jesus Christ, that's a whole nother type of thing. But this is what I'm trying to say. I mean, just, how we get wrapped up in, all of a sudden you're going to build statues and, all the jokes they make, even with Trump putting his face on Mount Rushmore and different things like that. So, but and it's true, like, David Icke was speaking on this and, especially speaking, and this comes more because I believe this so much more intently than I do about, any politics or who's a good guy or a bad guy, is we know that the pandemic was, a fake pandemic. We know that the people were under attack. We know that the jabs are killing people. And, the truth is, and like what David Icke was saying in his video was to the effect of, if Trump was such a, freedom fighter and really, was doing all the stuff he says he's doing, then, why would he not and come out and just say, no, we're not going to, he's the one that came warp speed, vaccines, we got it. We're going to stop this pandemic. That should be day one. Say, no, it's not good. We're not, at the very least, shouldn't have been mandated or anything. Listen, these people are all in bed together. I've seen things with Trump's name on the Epstein flight log. I've seen things, how he was friends and everything with the Clintons all those years. They're all in cahoots all these years. And now all of a sudden, like, he's stepping out. Now, I don't know. I don't know, because this goes into the whole thing. Then you got the Q thing, right? People think, Trump's part of the Q team and they're saving the world and trust the plan and, all this kind of crap. And, I don't know. It's really easy to, get wrapped up in all these things. So, today I'm saying, dear truth, do you exist? Because let's take a step back from everything. And like, what is the truth? Like, what is truth? Is there truth? Is this world just, I'm being reflective in a way today. Is this world just what? It's going back to the show the other day or whatever, when I talking about, being in the Matrix and everything else. And, so is this world even real in any capacity whatsoever? It's just like, is everything just an orchestrated event? That's why I was really kind of thinking, it's like, I'm not asking for much in this life. I don't need a lot of material things. I don't need to be a superstar. I don't need like really anything. All I really want is freedom. I just want freedom. I want freedom, to do my day, to believe how I believe, to, be able to, live out my life based on what my heart and soul is saying to me. And that's true, I feel, for all of us. I mean, that's, again, one of the main reason really why I come on and do what I do here is like, I try to say these messages to people, there's no division. There's no, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. And, who, it's not about saying somebody's, not smart or something because they don't think this or think that or whatever. But, it's just about like, I mean, if you think about it, what is this life? What are we doing? I mean, hold on, what are we doing? Somebody tell me what's going on, because I can't take it anymore. It's getting on my damn nerves. There's your little doggies. I know. It's all right, little puppy. It's all right, little puppy. Things are going to be fine. It's going to be all right. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. All right. Hey-o. So, but seriously, get out of here, you crazy Al. Anyway, but yeah, and I just maybe a whole nother perspective today, because now we got this whole thing again. And another thing that David Icke was speaking on that was interesting was just talking about like, the FBI and these type of organizations. I mean, they're basically the same as, with the SS or was or whatever, Nazi Germany. It's all like they're all in cahoots. Like, they're all these, they come under the guise of like, protecting people and everything. And then, so he brought up the thing with, Mar-a-Lago, and like basically saying, there was a whole bunch of Republicans talking about that Trump was basically out of the way, and then they go and raid his place in Mar-a-Lago, and now like, he's revived, like just like what's going on now when he said he was going to be arrested, and now he's not arrested, and they're, making a fool out of this guy Bragg or whatever, and, and like boost, and now he's back in the spotlight and boosting, and, and I just, because the truth is like, the devil comes as your friend. I always remember that, it's one of the things like they always talk about, the Antichrist. When the Antichrist comes, the basically would, bring the world together, would come as a person of peace and all this type of thing. And, and it's just a normal thing. The devil comes as your friend, right? So, because they, it's a way to, not going to come and say, I'm trying to kill you. I mean, what's the easiest way to get people to be, compliant, and do what they kind of want you to do if it's in the guise of what they call freedom, and they're, doing it in such a way where they make you believe that you're, getting your power back and stuff. So, I mean, who's to say that, Trump's just not another piece of the whole, part of everything, imagine like all these like, bad people. And they say, people are starting to get frustrated with us, and, we really need to, get everybody on board, or maybe we need to really identify what portion of the country thinks what way. I mean, the level of division that's come about, over these past few years is just like, it's just unfathomable, it's like, what the hell is going on? We're all people, not even in this country, but like, on this earth, like we're all one humanity. And, the levels of division that have come about, and mainly speaking here in the United States, with Trump, you see the country's like, so divided over, who hates him, or they either love him or they hate him, or, and it's so, I don't know, it just gave me another, thing to think about. And I wasn't, ever thinking that like, Trump's the savior and he's got to be president again, or like, I really don't care because I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. I just want, freedom. I want freedom, not just me, for all of us, freedom, truth for all of us, space to live and to be, without, being, like fed upon in a sense, economically, emotionally, the way they torture basically everybody, programmed through the media and everything else. Like I say, it's just so deep and complex, and I don't know what I'm saying today, I guess. Like, it's just more of a thing of, what are we like prepared to do, in a sense? Like, what do we do instead of looking to these other people? Oh, is Trump going to save us, or is this one going to save us, or when this happens, or when this happens, and then when that happens, everything will be fine, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, when does the day come that the people themselves just say, no, today we make our day. We make our day. We're not listening to this anymore. We're not doing this way anymore. You don't have power over us anymore. There's so many more of us than them, and the level of confusion and division created, from, all the stuff that goes on, politically, and, I mean, even look at all these shootings. This other shooting just happened in Nashville at the school, and I don't believe for a second, and probably have said this before too, but I don't believe for a second that any of those school shootings are just, some wackadoo gets a gun and walks into a school and starts shooting somebody. To me, these are CIA operations, MK Ultra, whatever you want to say. It's definitely done purposely. And I look at this one, not for anything. This one was a transgender woman, right? So, and I was watching the news and they kept saying, female, did this. 96% of these type of crimes are committed by a male. And I'm thinking, well, but it is a male. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I mean, I get it. Do whatever you want to do. But biologically, it is a male. Like, the news has to make this whole thing female. It was a female. I mean, they did a story. I saw the story and it took like, they kept saying female. Then it was like, 2-3 minutes into the story, they said transgender, female, and I was just thinking, like, why can't you say that from the beginning? And it's like, now they throw that into it too, right? Like, so now it gives even more fuel to the fire. So, all the controversy that's already going on with the transgender community, and all that type of stuff. Now they throw more fuel into the fire, right? Because now you can say, oh, a transgender woman, went in and shot up a school. So now we can chastise those people more and make them look like they're villains, So I mean, everything is done purposely. That's the whole point that I'm making. And like, so, when you really want to look at it, Trump's not saving us. Biden's not saving us. None of these kookadoos are saving us, by any stretch of the imagination. And to me, it almost, when I think about it today after kind of, processing that information, because I've heard that stuff before. I mean, a lot of people say, things like that regarding, Trump, but it does make me realize, like, if Trump was really a man of the people, like, what's the big secret, right? What's the big hide? A lot of people, feel about COVID certain ways. Why can't he come out? If that's really the truth and he really wants to help the people, why doesn't he just make a special, listen, I want you guys to know that, the pandemic wasn't what they said. The vaccines aren't what they said. Like, why not do that, right? Because, I mean, that is the ultimate, that is truth right there. So why not do that? So, is he part of, the whole bigger plan? And it's like, hey, listen, these people, it's hard to keep them, that no one trusts them anyway. Let's put somebody like him in there. He's a wild card. He's a maverick. He's a this or that. The people, these people, they study psychology and everything else, like to the deepest ends. They probably could research you and show up at your door and talk to you and, get you to do whatever they wanted to do. They probably think they would know enough about you. They already do through all your social media and everything else. Know enough about you, how to approach you, talk to you, what triggers you, so that they can get you to, conform to some kind of goofy agenda, So I don't know. Is he part of it? Is he just like working behind the scenes and they're all sitting there having a good chuckle, say, listen, I'll say this, you say that, everybody running around fighting each other and do. And then eventually we can, drop the hammer on these sons of bitches, and lock them all down, put them in the FEMA camps. Let's put them in the FEMA camps. Let's say a prayer. We need a prayer.
So we pray.
Let's pray.
Our Father,
who art in heaven. Father, let's do it. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. God, are you there? Are you listening to what I'm saying, dear Lord Almighty God up in heaven? Do you hear what I'm saying? Why are we being tortured? Why do these people have the rights and the privileges to F with our lives? Why do people have to be confused and scared? We're all humans. Give us the information. Let people make their choices. Let's do it the right way. Stop all this nonsense. All right, so that's it. I really just had to do that rant, because it just was still on my mind, and it's just making me, it doesn't say make me depressed or anything. Like, I mean, I don't even care. Like, again, I don't even care that deeply about it in a sense of, it's just more of like a, I'm trying to find like my space of like, okay, let me just find like a center point that I can go from, that I feel like, okay, this is, and then we just kind of go from here. But like, the truth is, like, there's nothing to go from. And again, honestly, I'm just realizing this now as I'm saying it, because what do I always say? I say, you can't attach to anything in the everyday world. You really have to go with your heart, like let your heart speak to you, let your heart guide you. And, Yeah, and maybe this a little wake up call for me. I'm not somebody that's going to be wearing a "Make America Great" hat or anything. I'm not going to put a Trump flag, on my. I don't have a pickup truck, but if I did, I'm not putting a Trump flag, driving down the road and all that kind of stuff, because I don't give that much credence to any person. But, just interesting times and interesting concepts. And, just to take a step back, from what I'm saying, dear truth, do you exist? I mean, yeah, truth exists, but what is truth? Truth is a lot of things, I guess, based on, the complexities of our existence in this human form. So I don't know. I'm waiting for crap to happen in a way. I don't not like all of a sudden the switch flips and it's freedom. Everybody's free. Because the truth is, like, even if something like that happened where now they said true freedom and they give everybody a bunch of money or anything. I don't know. Whatever they do, it's still. Do you trust that? Like, do you trust that then? Like, do you are you really free, or is this like the calm before the storm type thing where maybe they give you a little pacifier for a couple of years, and get everybody kind of roped into a certain way, and then they can enact, bigger control. I don't know. I mean, why do people even want to control other people? That's what I mean. The whole concept, the whole freaking thing is just, and I said, it blows my mind. I just want to be free. Don't you just want to be free? I'm asking you, don't you just want to be free? Don't you want to just get up every day? I'm not saying be a lazy bum, but, get up every day and, like, your life is your life. Your day is your day. You're connected to source. You're connected to the earth. It's just like, it's not, I don't know. I know. People, you got to think I'm crazy. I'm sure a lot of people that are just normal every day, get up and do their life, people are not thinking concept wise beyond their physical selves. I had one friend of mine, he used to tell me all the time that he would never get cremated because he's afraid he might need his body in heaven. I mean, these are the kind of people that we're dealing with. I mean, if you're thinking something, if you're on that level of thought, how can I help you? Hey-o. So, all right. Anyway, that's it for today. And, just stuff to think about. So please, listen to what I'm saying here. I don't know, maybe you got some further information on what I'm talking about. Does what I'm talking about, resonate with you at all? Drop me some comments down there in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share to this channel, Operation Status Quo, because, I'm a man of the people. I love you, the people. I'm a people. You're a people. Wouldn't you like to be a people too? We're the people. You and me are people, So let's just connect and help each other. That's what I'm here for. And yeah, I mean, that's what I'm here for. I'm sorry. It's like, maybe you tell me I should take a break. But seriously, I just want to send messages of telling. We all need to just empower ourselves and let go of all this stuff and say, F it. We're going to make the world, we're going to build our day the way we want to build it. We don't have to answer, to all these, kooks that, not for, even if you like Trump. I mean, the dude's like a quadrillionaire, money, doing whatever he wants to do. You think he's hurting for anything while he walks around and blah, 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 blah. I'm innocent. I'm totally innocent. He's always totally. I mean, I explained all that. It's a witch hunt. It's a hoax. It's a this. It's a that. And it's just like, I'm not saying, he probably did do all that crap. I mean, he lived all these years hanging out with all those people. He probably was on Epstein Island banging kids with the rest of them. Who the frig knows, And now they say, look, Donald, we need you to play this part now because, we need to shake things up a little bit or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. I just, let's just find truth together. Let's build truth, let's embrace it. And truth is not like creating what we think is true. Truth is like connection. Truth is silence. Truth is in meditation. The truth is, in our heart, the oneness, the moment with breath, that's truth. So, how do we get to that space together and give each other the space to live in truth, even though it's always going to be a little different for everybody because we're all different and we all have different perspectives and upbringings. So, let's get to a place where we can give each other the space to be who we are, and the world will run itself. We don't have to do it. God's in charge. We created everything. We don't have to force anything. We don't have to figure it all out. We just have to find stillness. We just have to find space to just to be and let life do what it's supposed to do, because it's God's work, and we're here as part of that. So we tune in, we connect, and we move forward in that regard. So anyway, that's it. I thought it was a great perspective today as far as, thinking of things in a different way. It was helpful to me because, as much as I say support Trump or whatever. I mean, I'm not the same kind of Trump supporter as like Trump supporters, like I'm not, it's like almost like, I just kind of think he's more of a character, but the truth is they're all pieces of crap. Where is he? Where is it really made me think today, for this guy who's supposed to be saving everybody. It's easy to come on and say, oh, look at the tragedy at the border. Everything was in great shape when I was there. Look at the gas prices. Everything was in great shape when I was there. Well, what are you doing now? Like, what are you doing now to really, get things exposed? Or, if all this about, Epstein and this, that, and, all these, what are you doing? Why not just hold a massive press conference and drop the bombs then? It makes no sense if that's what's true. And then we need to, why make it years and years of, exposing this information to give people the chance to start fresh? Like, why keep people twirling in turmoil for 3 years and then letting all these people, take that freaking poison and drop dead, So I don't know. It is what it is. So people, Operation Status Quo, where we observe the status quo, we learn to flow with the quo, but we don't have to let the quo flow over us, because we're observing it and we learn how to flow with it. You know what I'm trying to say? All right, so make sure you like, subscribe, share, send this out to all your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well, because they need the most help of anyone. They need the most help of anyone. What else? Yeah, that's it. Like, subscribe, share, post it out, share it. I love you people. I love you people individually as well as a group. I'm Pete Palma. This is Operation Status Quo. Thanks for taking the time to be with me here today. And I'll be back with you again before you can blink your eye and say, oh, God, I hope he doesn't come back. Operation Status Quo disengaged.